Boom. All right. All right, everybody. Yes, we're good. Hey, people, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. You're watching The Tim Black Show, a very late edition of The Tim Black Show. Man, it's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I said, hey, you know what? We go anyway. All right, so that's the good side. It's like me saying, you know what? This is pretty late, but we're going to do a show anyway because we have to. We got to do it. So I want to say hello to everybody out there. Let me make sure our audio is good and that the connections are rolling on all platforms. Facebook, Periscope, YouTube. Tim Black's Wolfpack. Who's out there? Let's see who's out there. Facebook's in the house. Dolores, can you hear me, Dolores? So we got Dolores, Devontae, Charles is in the house. Harvey's in the house. Bruce and Helen's in the house. Yes. We got some people on Facebook. We got Rebecca, George. Sir said, Tim, you must be a night person just like me. Man, I'll be up to 3 and 4 in the morning. Working. After this, I'm still working, Sarah. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for being here. The show goes on, man. So Facebook seems to be doing fine. They can hear and they can see me, and I can comment to people. And now we're going to go to YouTube. YouTube people, what's up? What's going on? Tim Black's Wolfpack on YouTube. What's up, M? What's up, Pyramid? What's up, my name? Sekmara. Hey, Sek, I seen you. Sek, you are Patreon. If I'm not mistaken, I want to thank you very much. And I also saw that somebody joined just before the show. A couple people joined. Money Train James joined. What's up, Money Train? Welcome to the show, Money Train. Welcome to the community, Money Train. Money Train, you need to email me at tim@timblackTV.com. Send me your address so I can send you a bumper sticker. All my YouTube supporters are $5 automatically because you can't do less for $5 on YouTube. I don't get the whole 5 because YouTube takes a cut, but that don't have nothing to do with you. That ain't your fault. So if you send me your address, I'll send you a bumper sticker, okay? All right. And also, shout out to Lemmy Snotty. Lemmy Snotty. What's up, Lemmy? Thank you for joining the Wolfpack. I appreciate you. Same thing works. Send me an email at tim@timblackTV.com. You're a Wolfpack member, $5 member a month. You get a bumper sticker. And I'm waiting a couple of days because I got some other goodies coming in. I want to send you bumper stickers and something else. So I want to thank you all, everybody on YouTube for sharing. Could you share it, guys? Let people know what we're doing because this show is different than most of the shows that they're going to see on the internet, I think we got a different political style, definitely a different delivery. You got a different host. And we talk about the issues in a different way. So, I'm biased. I know I'm biased. But I tend to think we got a pretty good show. So spread the word. Shout out to Jay Bird and Andrew. Yes. Hey. Anthony, what's up, Anthony Riaz? Frederick Murphy. Neo Hedge. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get everybody. I'm trying to run through and catch the whole crew, man. Dead Bunny 17 says, holy, am I watching Tim Black live? Yeah, you watching me live. What's up, Dead Bunny 17? Much love to you, Dead Bunny. Peace signs all the way around to everybody out there that's giving me some of your time, that are tuning in and said, you know what? Let me see what this brother talking about. Yeah, let me see how he roll. Let's see what's going on with him. I already watched XYZ or somebody else. Let me see what this guy's talking about. Well, I'm gonna tell you picked a very good night to tune into the Tim Black Show because, hey, I don't want to brag or nothing. We about to cover the hell out of some stories, and if you were kind of like progressive minded, you really gonna have fun because I got some stuff. It's kind of real. It's getting real. It's getting realer than Real Deal Holyfield. It's getting real in the field. It's getting real in the primary season. All right, so look, everybody get ready because we got topics. Oh, man. We're going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard. And Tulsi Gabbard, she did an interview, and I don't know, I know it was recent because of the subject matter. It's a clip that I don't think a lot of people have seen. And she answers this question that could be dangerous if you are a coward. But Tulsi Gabbard's no coward, so she answers the question very effectively. We're going to cover that. Joe Biden, he's sliding in the polls. We're going to cover the polls. But we're also going to cover Joe Biden's surrogate, Simone Sanders, and a little confrontation she had with Erin Burnett. Yeah, we're going to cover that. You're going to like this. Kamala Harris, she's making the rounds. And she responded, she had some questions. She was questioned about Medicare for All. And, yeah, we're going to cover that too. Oh, yeah, we're going to cover that too, Kamala. But I'd like to start tonight's show off with Bernie Sanders. See, Bernie Sanders sat down with the Washington Post. He answered a series of questions. We're going to cover that. I want to let you know something. I don't know if you noticed or not. Bernie don't care. In fact, Bernie is wild and Bernie is serious, and he's past the point where he's concerned with whose brittle spirits he has to deal with. Like today, there are people always concerned about political correctness. Well, Bernie really impressed me in this interview because he let people in to see who he was a little bit. Yeah, he let people know a little bit about him. Folks, I don't want to beat the horse too long because I don't want to kill the horse, but I swear, guys, this is vintage. So before I show this clip, please share this clip. Like, I want us to get to like 300 on YouTube. Like, can we get to 300 people watching? I know it's late, but some of these people are up. They can't sleep. They up drinking or smoking or watching cat videos. Share the video. In fact, let me share it on Twitter. What am I talking about? I'm talking about other people. I'm not even sharing my own video on Twitter. All right, that's enough. I'll just have to play it. Look, they'll have to get the replay. I know. One day we was at 500. And I got excited. All right, so back to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders interviewed on Washington Post. He's a different side of Bernie Sanders than some of us have seen. I like both sides of Bernie. This I like even more. Here goes the clip.
In 1974, you said that busing policies were well-meaning in theory, but sometimes result in, quote, racial hostility.
What else did I say in that?
Tell me.
No, you got it there. Read it. Read the whole quote.
I don't have the whole quote.
The whole quote is the federal government doesn't give a shit about African Americans.
Oh, that is true. That's why I didn't include it.
All right. Okay. And my point was that I don't think anybody thinks that busing is the solution. What is the solution? What I meant by that quote is that we need to enforce fair housing legislation. I think everybody, whether you're black or you're white, you want your kids to go to a great community school, not to be bused an hour away. That is the goal that we should be striving for. And by the way, we've introduced education, what we call the Thurgood Marshall educational plan, which would significantly improve public education in America and deal with a very serious issue of the growing segregation of schools in American society, something that we have to address very boldly.
Was Senator Harris's critique of Vice President Biden fair?
I don't want to, Senator Harris will tell you what she wants, and I'm not here to talk about Joe Biden or Senator Harris within that context. All that I know is that we have massive amounts of racial disparity in this country today. And that means that in a country which has enormous income and wealth inequality, we're looking at a nation where the average white family owns 10 times more wealth than the average black family, where infant mortality rates in the black community 2.5 times higher than the white community. Unbelievable. If you're a black woman having a baby today, the likelihood is 3 times greater that you will die than if you're a white woman. where we still have redlining in terms of our financial system, housing segregation. So when I talk about creating an America that works for all people, it means doing away with the systemic racism that exists from coast to coast.
Do you feel like if you go into the Democratic National Convention with the lead in delegates, that this system is fair? Or is it still aligned against you in the way you felt it may have been last time?
I don't say that it's aligned against me in a paranoid way. We are taking on the establishment. So we're taking on Wall Street. We're taking on the insurance companies. We're taking on the drug companies. We're taking on the fossil fuel industry. We're taking on the prison industrial complex because I want to do away with private prisons and detention centers in this country.
But is the DNC set up in a fair way?
Well, we are taking on the 1%. And it is no great secret that within the Democratic Party, there is a corporate wing of the Democratic Party. You'll recall, I think it was last month, that a group called the Third Way. You know what the Third Way is? Third Way is the...
They're moderates.
Well, that's one way to describe them. The other way to describe them is they are the Wall Street arm of the Democratic Party. Historically very powerful, right? I mean, that's the fact. They receive their money from financial institutions. They have traditionally played a very big role in the Democratic Party. Democratic Party for the last 40 years has been dependent on big money interests. All right? The leadership of the Third Way said that Bernie Sanders is an existential threat to the Democratic Party. Does that suggest that I may be taking on some opposition in the Democratic Party? I think maybe. All right. So what I am trying to do in this campaign is to do something that I must tell you I don't think has been done at least since Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and that is bring about a political revolution. I want to see the voter turnout substantially increase through working people who have given up on the political process because they don't believe anybody in Congress cares about the pain that they are experiencing. I want to bring young people into the political process. We're having some success in doing that. I want more.
So what's more important, the revolution or beating President Trump? How far do you take this? If you're not in the delegate lead, do you still go all the way to the convention?
Well, I don't want to speculate as to what will happen,
Well, if you're revolutionary, right, you carry on, you go all the way.
Look, you're talking two things, all right? Number one, to beat Trump, we need a candidate who is going to run a campaign of energy and excitement, where there's going to be the largest voter turnout in American history, where working class people who said, I'm not going to vote because they're all full of shit, I don't give a damn. We get those people involved because you're going to have a candidate who is prepared to take on the big money interest. By the way, in case you didn't get it, that's Bernie Sanders. Okay? And second of all, we say to the young people that instead of disparaging them, you are the future of this country. And I believe that the young generation today is the most progressive generation in the history of this country. They're beautiful people, but they are hurting. They're going to have a lower standard of living than their parents, which is why, again, I want to cancel student debt. I want to create jobs which pay these people a living wage. Bring those people in. And you know what? When you do those things, you are going to not only beat Trump, we'll beat Trump badly. Poll after poll has many of us, including me, beating Trump right now. We can beat him in Michigan, beat him in Wisconsin, beat him in Pennsylvania, if we get working people and young people involved in the political process. And the only way you do that is when you talk to the issues that are life and death for those constituencies.
Vice
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. All right. I love this clip of Bernie Sanders. I think it epitomizes what Bernie can do, how Bernie can connect with the audience. And guys, I just got to say, I was very surprised to see Bernie to be kind of loose with the language and just keep it real. Be willing to have people be a little pissed off, people be offended if they want to be offended. He's talking about the future of this country. And it's important for his passion to show. So people always talk about Bernie's mean. But he means well, and he's mean, if he's mean at all, it's because he's seen so much BS. He's seen so much corporate corruption that, yeah, I think it would tick you off, piss you off to the point where you don't have time. You become impatient with people who are phony, with people who don't mean us any good for the American people. And if you're in that business and you got to be around it and see it, I think at some point we just want to call it out. So I'm glad Bernie is calling it out. I'm glad that Bernie Sanders is keeping it 100. I just want to briefly check, make sure we're good. Looks like we're good. Sounds good. So, yeah, somebody said, not with the profanity. Look, okay, so let me go by my points, okay? And you know what? That's up to individuals. That's up to the individuals. How they feel about Bernie dropping an S. Dropping an S. And look, it was true. It was the statement, right? So he wanted to be clear with the interviewer that, hey, you didn't read my whole statement. Because in my statement, back then, I was telling the world that the federal government doesn't care about black people. Yeah, that's right. Remember when Kanye West, I don't know if some of you are old enough, but when Kanye West said this about George W. Bush, he was a celebrity, but he became celebrity at another level. Well, Bernie was saying it, 10 years before, 15 years before Kanye West said it. So, and he said it on the record, but so did Kanye. A couple other points about this interview that I loved. Sounds to me like Bernie Sanders understands at least a good portion of what's going on with black America. See, I'm under no delusions that black people are happy with Trump. They're not happy with Trump, okay? Not by and large, not most black people. What you see online, you see people like Candace Owens, the other black guy with the channel who probably shouldn't have a show. I don't know why some of these guys, it's just a lane that's opened up. You see the Trump girls, the Trump support girls or whatever, frickin' frack. You see all this stuff. But I'm telling you, in the majority of people's minds, the majority of black folks that are just working people, taking care of their families, trying to make it, trying to put a little bit of money away, trying to keep the car running, they're not excited or they don't feel inspired by Donald Trump, okay? But what they're looking for is they're looking for Bernie Sanders or any candidate. It doesn't just have to be Bernie Sanders. They're looking for any candidate to really speak to the issues that affect the black community. And I respect the fact that Bernie Sanders is speaking that language. Now, I know there's some people that will never convince. There are people on Twitter, the blue checkmark crowd. I got a blue checkmark, but I'm not in their crowd. I'm not in their group. They always wonder how I slip in. I got popular on my own steam. I didn't get a job at MSNBC or CNN in order to get my credentials. Here's the thing, guys. You got to admit Bernie Sanders can talk the black issues and black agendas and speak to black pain specifically in a way that he couldn't do in 2016. Oh, man, Bernie's talking about infant mortality rate, death rate of moms giving birth. He's talking about education. He's talking about investment. He's talking about issues that really impact black life. In fact, I'm going to say this, and I mean this. Bernie Sanders is talking more true and more real about black issues than Obama was. I said Bernie Sanders is talking more direct about black issues than Obama ever did. Oh, yeah, that one time Obama said, yeah, my son could have been Trayvon. Then he proceeded to do nothing to change anything relating to it. So I'm impressed. I would like, I'm one of those people that's very critical when it seems like politicians don't get it. Because I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you win. I'm here to help make the country better. I'm here to protect the country, and I'm here to protect the children, and I'm here to make sure we get the right nominee to the best of my ability. If not, I could have just stayed in the computers. I could have just stayed in that field. At least then I knew when my food and my bills were coming from, how I'm going to pay them. So I do this. When I go after candidates for not doing what I think they should do, it's because I support them and I want them to do better, and I want better for the country. Bernie Sanders is doing a hell of a job, and I think if I could critique him, which I do, then I can applaud him, and I can also applaud his people. Senator Nina Turner, David Sirota, Brianna, and I'm sure there are people that I don't know whose names that don't just rattle off the top of my, dome. But they're doing a good job with Bernie, and I just want to make sure Bernie gets credit for that because he's up there rattling it off in a way that shows it's ingrained. Cornel West would be proud. I know Cornel West saw this clip, and he smiled. That's Brother Bernie. Now, the second part of the clip where Bernie was talking about part of the reason, because the Washington Post reporter asked him, hey, are you thinking you're going to get a fair shake? Are you going to get a fair shot out of the DNC this time around? And if you think you are, why do you think this? And Bernie said, it's not so much that I'm paranoid that the establishment's out to get me, but the point is I'm going up against the establishment. That's the thing about Bernie Sanders, man, that I think most people just don't get, or the people that are so dead set against Bernie because they're still hurt about Hillary. Bernie takes on the establishment. That's what you want. There's an establishment in the military-industrial complex. Bernie's willing to take them on. There's an establishment in the health industry, healthcare industry. Bernie's taking them on. Establishment in the insurance companies. Bernie's taking them on. Establishment in big tech. Bernie's taking them on. Bernie's taking them on in insurance, in the guns, in all walks from private prisons. You name it, Bernie's calling them out. Do you think that makes Bernie the guy they invite to the parties? Hey, man, the fact of the matter is Bernie don't do private fundraisers, but he wouldn't be able to raise those funds anyway because they hate him. Let us not forget, Bernie Sanders is the only candidate in this race that has a wall of shame for rich, powerful people. Some of them billionaires, other CEOs of major corporations. Bernie Sanders is the only one that they said, get him out of here. We don't want him. We'll take anybody else but Bernie. Why did they say that? He's the threat. Elizabeth Warren ain't the threat. Why? If Elizabeth Warren was the threat, why isn't she considered the Antichrist? That's what they're calling Bernie, the Antichrist. That's what big corporations, CEOs, and billionaires are calling Bernie. An existential threat to the system. Hey, TYT and Cenk Uygur and Emma Vigeland and all of you who ignore me because I'm nobody. I get it. Why? Paying me attention would only make me bigger. You wouldn't want the foremost black progressive channel to actually get bigger. You wouldn't want that to happen. You wouldn't want a real conversation, Jake. I get it. If Elizabeth Warren is so great, why isn't she ostracized to the level of Bernie Sanders? I'm just saying, since there, it was like almost a coin toss between who's best, so I'm going to go with Elizabeth Warren because, well, if she is so progressive, why aren't the CEOs saying, no, Elizabeth, get her out of here? Why is she suddenly so acceptable? If her commitment to progressive issues that are they're directly in opposition to the interests of corporations, which is to make more money, increase their bottom line, increase profit, lower costs, salaries, vacation, health care, cut back on benefits, keep more money, send jobs overseas, pay pennies on the dollar. If that's their goal, why aren't they more pissed off with Elizabeth Warren? Why aren't they putting out information like the Third Way trying to destroy Elizabeth Warren? Why is she immune to them? Why are they okay with her? Megatron, he didn't like Professor X. I'm just saying, like, the bad guy doesn't like the good guy, right? In any scenario, right? Lex Luger didn't like Superman, right? There's Lex Luger, right? Am I getting my comic book thing right? I'm just saying the bad guy doesn't like the good guy. If Elizabeth Warren is the good guy, why aren't the bad guys hating Elizabeth Warren? I'm just saying, it's like, isn't this how this game is supposed to be? Isn't this, I don't know, just, He asked Bernie Sanders, well, Bernie, if things don't work out for you, will you endorse another candidate or will you fight on or what's the revolution going to be? Bernie Sanders' explanation or his response to that, spot on. It's the job of the candidate to inspire the voters. We want voters who don't vote. Yeah, man, you can preach to the choir all day. You need to go get the unindoctrinated. You need to go get people that wrote off politics 20 years ago. I don't have any belief that Kamala Harris is making people who never voted go, I believe in her. She can change our lives. She can lead this country in a totally different direction. I just don't believe that's what they think when they listen to her talk. They may think, oh, it'd be nice to have a black woman in there. They may listen to Elizabeth Warren say, hey, it might be nice to have a teacher in there. But are they really going, I've never voted before, and this is the person that inspires me, that makes me believe that I should vote. This should be the first time. Like, how many first-time voters is Elizabeth Warren inspiring? This is just the question, and that's what's necessary. Now, it's still early. Anybody could win, I guess. But not just anybody will be able to inspire voters to get out and vote. And that's what you need. That's what you're going to need to defeat Trump, because you best believe, short of finding Donald Trump with a live boy or a dead hooker, prostitute, working lady, or man, there's very little that'll hurt Donald Trump. In fact, I don't even think those two things will hurt him. Get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think so. I think Donald Trump's going to keep his base. So what you need to do is be to excite other people. Not the Hillary method of going after Trump voters and trying to convert Republicans into Democrats or whatever that is. No, just speak to issues. Don't care what people's names are. Don't care what's behind their name tag or how they voted before. Speak to the issues. Speak to the issues. That is the only shot you really have. And I think Bernie does that better than any other candidate right now. And I'm thoroughly impressed with this clip. Rumble, young man, rumble. All right. Next story. Oh, man, I told you, man, we're going to get at it. We did not come here to play. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, guys, let's go to the next story. I've put out a couple of videos about Kamala Harris. It's not because I have a thing that just want to call out Kamala Harris. It's just she just keeps mixing herself up in my news cycle. And I don't shy away from covering people. Even if I know it'll create a little bit of backlash. People get ticked off at me. They text me things, they get pissed off. I understand it. Tim, you're going to let this woman, are you going at this woman? Someone actually wrote that to me. Why are you attacking this woman? You don't attack Pete Buttigieg this way. Yeah, I do. You just don't watch those videos because you don't care about Pete. Well, you don't go after, throw somebody else's name out. I do. I go after everyone. But it's just something about Kamala Harris. Something about her. Not exactly sure what it is. I knew that was going to happen. But anyway, let's watch this clip. This is Kamala Harris having a conversation with some folks at CNN, and here goes the interview, and let's talk about it after this. Yeah, why is it that America's willing to let Americans pay more than any other country for our pharmaceuticals? And why do we pay more for our health insurance? Why do we pay more for our coverage and we don't get the same level or even get better coverage? I mean, if you pay the most, shouldn't you get the best? We don't have the best outcomes. Our life expectancy is getting shorter, not longer. We pay the most. And lots of us don't have coverage. Well, Kamala Harris, you should already know the answer to that question. You shouldn't even be asking that question. You don't go far enough, once again, Kamala Harris, to say why. Don't ask the question, you know the answer, right? That's the reason why you want Medicare for all. See, guys, when I listen to her talk, I just don't feel like, what's the word for it? I don't feel like she believes what she's saying. And I know that's very subjective. It's what I think, though. I just feel like she's saying it. She's saying some of the right things. But doesn't it take courage of one's convictions? Does Kamala Harris have the courage of her own convictions? In fact, I know she's convicted a lot of convicts or made a lot of people into convicts, but does she really have a conviction? You know what a conviction is? A conviction is you're cut off from any other decision. Like this is you're convicted, you're committed. There is no way that you will turn on this issue. You are steadfast. You are solid. Solid as a rock. And you won't be moved. And this is the way you're going to go. It's what she talked about with Obama, with Obamacare. She said he had courage. He had courage against all odds to get Obamacare done. Why does the Kamala have the same trust in Medicare for all, in a single-payer system? Why can't she take her foot off the base of Obamacare and move it squarely and securely onto the plate of Medicare for all? Would it have something to do with donations? I mean, these are just questions. Kamala Harris won't move on from Obamacare. That was the question. Will you move on from Obamacare? Listen, if you say, hey, you want to move to Medicare for all, you have to move on from Obamacare. She's hedging her bets, guys. A person who hedges is not a leader. I'm sorry, it's just not. A person who hedges is not someone who's seen as bold, powerful, or courageous. Person who hedges seems weak. And where is all the tough talking and finger rattling and all of the posturing? Why the new little mousy voice? And it also didn't seem like she was very well versed in Medicare for all. Listen, when somebody asks you, how are you going to pay for Medicare for all, won't you start with, see, this is when it hurts when you're not really a progressive. Because if you were a real progressive, you could have just said, end the wars. Instead of sending our men and women to war in the Middle East, in endless wars, instead of investing our money in war, we'll invest our money in our people's longevity and success and the health of our people. See, that's only something Tulsi Gabbard or Bernie could say, or Marianne Williamson could say, because they're the only ones I think who really believe in it. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren's a big war hawk. So, she can't use it. That was the obvious go-to. We'll stop building bombs, But you can't say that because you're going to go right ahead and build more bombs. So, yeah, you can't say that. She threw Congress under the bus, though. Yeah. Yeah, way to go. Hey, look, I had no problems with you throwing Congress under the bus. But what did you really change in your 2 years of being in Congress? What have you really fought for in Congress? See, the thing about Kamala is she's really good at chastising, a target that can't fight back. She beat up on Jeff Sessions real good, made a name for herself. Then she beat up on the Kavanaugh guy. Then she beat up on William Barr. And then she beat up on Joe Biden. But what did she change? The only one she was effectively beat up on really was Joe Biden. I mean, Jeff Sessions got confirmed, Kavanaugh got confirmed, and William Barr still Attorney General. What'd she do, really? Other than grandstand. Like Othello, like she's doing a play. But I didn't see the same swag if you're a person who's supporting Kamala Harris because you believe she's going to fight for anything, I don't just mean Medicare for all, I mean anything. I think she is pragmatic. She's Amy Klobuchar. She's Amy Klobuchar without the ethics to tell you she's Amy Klobuchar. At least Amy Klobuchar tell you, hey, I'm Amy Klobuchar. I ain't changing our health care, and I'm not going to get rid of your student debt. But, there's some things around the edges we might be able to do if I feel like it, if I can get people to work with me. I'm not going to inspire you or anything. That's Kamala Harris. That's really who she is. Now, come on, guys. When she ran for district attorney, she shifted like a chameleon from progressive to stark conservative. She made Sheriff Clark, the jackass Clark with the hat, cowboy hat, she made him look like a liberal. She was horrible, man. So anyway, hey, man, I'm just keeping it 100, guys. Also, Kamala Harris has this tick, this thing that she can't help but do, which is when she doesn't know the answer to a question, she just talks. Yeah, things got very word salady in this interview, where she's just throwing stuff against the wall, hoping it'll buy her some time to run out that clock. She looked like Floyd Mayweather in the 10th round. Honestly, though, guys, I think that this video is a great depiction of Kamala Harris. Talk a good game. But if you listen closely, it's a lot of platitudes. She's saying stuff other people said, like Bernie Sanders, because she knows it's going to play to the audience. But at the end of the day, she's not really ready to risk it all on anything. Speaking of risking it all on anything, so Joe Biden's been sliding in the polls. We know that. We got a clip for that. But there's somebody out there. Her name is Simone Sanders. She was on the Bernie Sanders campaign. She was a surrogate. She was one of those people out there talking about Bernie Sanders, how Bernie Sanders would be a great president. And she was on a lot of news networks. She'd be on CNN and MSNBC. And she was a staunch supporter of Bernie Sanders. And things have changed. 2019, well, Simone Sanders is now supporting Joe Biden. She's now works for Joe Biden. And that's within her rights to do. The only problem is there are certain things that just a couple of years ago, Simone Sanders was going on TV every time she could, promoting certain ideas and legislation, plans and policies that Bernie had. But now, all of a sudden, those plans stink. Those policies are bad because now she works for Joe Biden. Well, Simone Sanders was called out on it today on the Erin Burnett show. And here goes a clip of that. It's a thing of beauty.
For Bernie Sanders during the 2016 campaign. So, Simone, you know this from every angle, okay? Mm-hmm. As a general idea, Simone, a lot of people like the idea of Medicare for all, right? And that's in part because it sort of rings like it's free. Medicare for all, right? But it is not free. It has an estimated price tag of $3 trillion a year. People who are on Medicare can pay huge amounts of money out of pocket for things like cancer drugs, which could almost certainly mean payroll tax, income tax increases, right? It is not free, but it sounds that way to a lot of people. How can you explain that to Democratic-based voters? That Medicare for all may sound good, but doesn't really come out that way.
So thanks for having me tonight, Erin. I think it's important to note that healthcare is really so important to the American experiment, so important to folks' lives, and that is why people have such a visceral reaction when we have a conversation about healthcare. The 2018 election, one could argue, and the House of Representatives was decided on this point about healthcare. Republicans were trying to take away healthcare, and Democrats were running on really shoring up and protecting Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. And so today, Vice President Biden released his plan for his Biden health care plan. And as Jeff said, Aaron, we are really drawing a line in the sand here, and that we believe healthcare is a right. We believe healthcare is a right for every American. We believe that healthcare is so important, and we believe folks have to be covered. We believe in universal coverage, and the way that Vice President Biden is going to get there is through this through this public option with this expansion of Medicare, and also make sure that folks who are currently eligible for Medicaid but live in states where governors and state legislatures have failed to act, that those individuals can opt into their new plan.
But am I
healthcare
okay? I understand what you're trying to say.
Aaron.
I get it. I'm just trying to understand. Are you trying to also explain to voters that Medicare for all is not free, right? It comes at immense cost. You're trying to come up with another option.
It's not for me to explain. Let me just hold on a second. I don't have to. It's not for me to explain anything about Medicare for all to the voters. If the Sanders campaign or any of the other campaigns that would like to propose a Medicare for all plan want to be clear about what it is that they believe and what their plan is for the American people, I think it's important for them to do that. Look,
okay, but hold on, because I get what you're saying. You want to talk about yours and not theirs, but the reason I'm pushing so hard on this is that it's popular, and when you look at Democratic-based voters, Simone, as I know you know better than anybody, our latest CNN poll shows more Democratic voters trust Bernie Sanders on health care. And if you combine him with Warren, you're well north of 40%. That's the Medicare for all crowd. So how do you tell those voters Medicare for all doesn't add up? Our alternative is better, and here's why.
So, Aaron, again, I want to take you back to 2018. In 2018, I know Republican strategists would have liked for folks at home to believe that Democrats across the country were running on open borders and Medicare for all, but that's not what folks were running on. We were running on was putting a check on this president, on Donald Trump. Folks were running on was protecting Obamacare. And then, after we protected Obamacare, building on that success. And so what we are explaining to voters and saying as we're out on the campaign trail this week, the vice president is out there right now, is that we have to protect Obamacare. Obamacare is under assault right now from this very administration. The Trump administration is in court arguing to take health care away from millions of Americans. And while we're defending it, we also have to put plans together to build on the enormous success that is Obamacare. And that is what the plan that Vice President Biden has put forth. Now, there are folks, Aaron, that are going to argue otherwise. There are people that want to say, well, we want to go further. I ask those people to tell folks how you're going to pay for it and explain to people what is going to happen to them. So it's not enough just to say we all believe in universal health care. In this particular primary, we have to talk about what that specific plan for health care means. And we have put ours on the table. I encourage other campaigns to do the same.
So let me just ask you, though, because Medicare for all, on this point, you used to, and in your prior role with working with Bernie Sanders, you intellectually came to the conclusion that you could have Obamacare, add to it, and get Medicare for all. And obviously now you're saying that it's different, right? Because Joe Biden is saying you can't have Medicare for all and Obamacare because Medicare would replace Obamacare. Here you are back in 2016, and I want to play it, Simone, because I want to give you a chance to explain to everybody how you came to change your mind. Here you are.
Thinking big is how we get change in this country. Thinking big is how we got the Affordable Health Care Act, and thinking big is how we're going to build on that with a Medicare for all single-payer system. When we talk about a Medicare for all single-payer system, we're talking about universal health care. We're not talking about doing away with Obamacare, with the Affordable Health Care Act. We are talking about building on its enormous success.
So now Joe Biden says that Medicare for all would get rid of Obamacare. What is he doing differently?
For just a second, because I unequivocally reject what is being set up here. What I just saw, to be clear, let me just be really clear for a second. Yes, in 2016, I served as the press secretary for Senator Sanders. I'm extremely proud of the work that I did on that campaign and the work that I have gone on to do since when I left the campaign in June of 2016. But let me tell you something. Talking about universal health care has been a very popular point in the Democratic Party. Has been popular in places across the country. Frankly, it's popular with Republican voters and independents alike. But when you talk about health care, when you talk about coverage, we have to talk about specific plans. And in 2016, we were having these conversations. What Senator Sanders has put on the table is not an expansion of Obamacare. It is not. It does away with private insurance, and what is currently on the table in his Medicare for all plan says that Obamacare isn't enough, that we have to go on and do something else. This is not an expansion. Now, if the Sanders campaign would like to say it's an expansion, I hope you would welcome them onto your program to have that conversation. But for anyone to suggest for anyone to suggest that because I work for Vice President Biden, now I feel differently, that's just not true. I welcome a conversation.
No, I want to be clear.
But I want to be clear.
I'm not suggesting you feel differently. I'm suggesting, hold on, but Simone, let me say why I played that. No, I want to be clear.
Because I do feel some type
let me
of way
finish my sentence. Hold on. I didn't say it to do a gotcha. I said it because what you said then is different than what you're saying now. You're a thoughtful, smart person. You've changed your mind, and I want to give you a chance to explain to people why.
Because, Aaron, I believe in building on the enormous success of Obamacare. But the plan that is currently on the table that is being discussed by a number of folks when they talk about Medicare for all, specifically Senator Sanders' plan, does not do that. And that is the difference. And so if the Sanders campaign or anyone else would like to assert otherwise, I welcome the conversation. Our campaign obviously welcomes the debate because healthcare is so important to millions of people across America.
Well,
but I just want to be very clear that there are values and things that anchor me. And I know that there are a lot of people on social media that get into the minutia of what's going on in a Democratic presidential primary. But I am proud to be on a campaign that cares about millions of Americans, that's putting forth ideas, that is not about tearing down or attacking other Democrats, that understands that the goal here is to get Donald Trump out of the White House, is to put forth a plan that takes us further, that doesn't take us back. And so if other Democrats want to have conversations about other things, they can do what they want. We're focused on the issues, and we'll see you at the debate at the end of this month.
And to be clear, Simone, I think the fact that you do have this history is why people should listen to you and your evolution and why you think what you think, because it's important, because the issue does matter to you. And that's why what you said then and now I think should matter to a lot of people so they can understand it and make a smart and informed decision on which person to back. And I appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Why you just can't admit you got a new job and now you're under new management? Love under new management. Why you just can't admit it? Why you just can't say it? I mean, that's really the reality of this whole thing, guys, is that you supported Medicare for all when you worked for Bernie Sanders. Now you don't work for him, and now it sucks. Now, all of a sudden, Obamacare is a sacred cow that cannot be deflowered, regardless of the fact that it's increasingly ineffective and people can't afford it, and the penalties, some people are taking the penalty because they can't afford to have the coverage. It's not the raging success that people would think it was, considering how much you guys want to protect it. The only reason why Biden's protecting it is because if he shows any cracks in his armor but if he fails in any way to prop up Obama, he's toast. I mean, it's black people who had some type of nostalgia to Obama that rubbed off on Biden. That's the only reason why Biden's even in this race right now. And we'll get to it a little bit later to show that that's wearing off a little bit too. Because ain't that many black people in the country who can be manipulated. Not enough for this to work. But back to Simone Sanders. Simone Sanders, way to filibuster instead of just answer a question. And also, Aaron, you're funny. I wish you would be this tough with the politicians that come on your show whose names aren't Bernie Sanders. You know, be this tough. As tough as you're being with Simone, hold these politicians who have flip-flopped on positions, hold their feet to the fire the same way. Simone Sanders is a payer for hire. She's a hitter for hire. That's all she is. And when she gets off track a little bit, she starts frailing, swinging all different types of ways. Shoot, I don't know what she was doing up there. One thing that I do, so I wanted to be clear. I understand Simone has a job. She's got a video out there on the show, BET, that took the name of my show, basically. You know, Tim Black Coffee with Tim Black. Now they got a show called Black Coffee on BET. Yeah. But I don't have good ideas, but people like to steal them. It's a stupid cell phone company out of Brazil that took Tim Black, my name, and made their product, but it's international. Boy, I need a good lawyer. The point is this, guys. Simone Sanders I wouldn't have a problem with you and Joe Biden having your own flavor of the month. It's healthcare. Everybody's got their own flavor on healthcare. They don't want to just fall in line with Bernie Sanders. It's not advantageous to your program. That's another thing. You don't want to admit that it wouldn't make Biden look too good if he fell in love with Bernie's plan, right? So he can't. He can't. He can support it if he wanted to. His big money donors won't let him do it. That's the other truth to the matter. Biden's been bought and sold 30 years ago. The guy went on record and said, hey, guys, give me money. Nothing's going to really change that much if you elect me. I'm not going to change a lot of stuff. That's what he said on record. He's brought and paid for. And you, Simone Sanders, working for a guy like that shows that you're brought and paid for. You're the same people. That's why, as you said, you had a great rapport. You're just business people who happen to do business and politics. We have activists and we have business people who go into politics. Different people. You're a business person. I respect it. I get it. But the thing I get, but I don't respect at all, is how you have to say that Medicare for all is such a horrible thing. It wants to replace or repeal Obamacare. It will make insurance better for Americans. That should be the only thing that you're concerned about. Since you said there's a few things that I am rooted in and I am firmly planted in, well, one of them should be the life and death of people. Life and death issues. And there's nothing more life and death than war and health care. Those two things. And also not getting shot in the street by cops. That would be important. That doesn't happen nearly as much as people dying from health care, not having the right health care coverage. Not even close, right? So the way that you guys are framing this, like you want to make this against Obama. You want to make Bernie run against Obama. You want to make anyone who supports Medicare for all run against Obama like, oh, you're going against the last black president. You're not even trying to make it a battle of who has the better idea, who will help get coverage costs down, who will get more people covered. You just want to make it about Obama. And that's just to manipulate black voters. And man, if I'm ever able to raise the money to go around this country and talk to those people, I would change their opinions about Biden and about listening to folks like you who mean them no good, who are just doing their jobs from a business standpoint. So anyway, I don't fault Simone Sanders to the degree some do. I just accept that anybody, any faith, any belief that you had in her, that she was something beyond just a person. She's basically a personal assistant. She's basically an administrative assistant. She's basically, an office manager or a branch manager, whatever. I don't want to diminish what you do, but let's not act like you run the show. Let's not act like you're more than just a hired hand. You don't have a conflict of conscience championing for health care. I remember you up there championing for health care, and all of a sudden, sound like you're beatboxing on the whole idea of Medicare for all. Well, one of the reasons why this has become important is because Joe Biden is sliding in the polls. Sliding in the polls. Want to hear it? Here it goes.
For Bernie Sanders in the 2016 campaign. So, Simone, you know this from every angle, okay? As a general idea.
Fresh warning signs today for Joe Biden in a brand new poll out from CNN and the University of New Hampshire. The former vice president locked in a statistical dead heat with two of his top rivals. Take a look here. 24% of likely Democratic primary voters in New Hampshire say Biden is their top choice for the nomination. But 19% pick Senator Bernie Sanders. 19% for Senator Elizabeth Warren. The margin of error in this poll, 5%, which means essentially you could call that a statistical tie, or if Biden's ahead, the competition is certainly closing in. The former vice president telling MSNBC today he thinks it'll all turn out fine, but he's also conceding voters might have some doubts, even more doubts, especially after his first debate performance.
I don't want to attack anyone on the stage. It's not what I intend to do, but I realize that some have concluded that because I didn't respond very tough back to her, that how can I take on Trump? I've never had any trouble taking anyone from Trump to Putin to Xi Jinping or anybody else.
Saying that in an interview is very different than proving it on a debate stage. And if that's your calling card, I'm the grown-up with gravitas who can stand there next to Donald Trump next September and October, He better prove it in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, and he's got to start now. I mean, I think that these are all test cases for what's going to happen further down the road. He has to show he can handle his own party first before going forward, but he wouldn't be the first a primary candidate to really struggle early on in these debates. Sometimes they have to in order to understand where they need to improve. So if Biden's able to make those improvements, fine, but also, you know, he's proven himself to be a pretty stubborn candidate. He has been in this business for a long time. He feels like he knows what he wants to do, and he wants to do it his way. But there is going to be a need to grow in this field, because this is a field of Democrats who are representing different generations and different types of ideologies, and he has to learn how to be nimble enough to deal with that.
Yeah, Joe Biden is slipping real substantively. I mean, I think that he's slipping to a point where it has become a problem. I mean, you got to remember, here's the thing about Joe Biden slipping in the polls. It's not just for bragging rights, right? The slipping in the polls hurts Joe Biden because there are not a lot of people who support Joe Biden because they think Joe Biden is the best thing since sliced bread. There are a lot of supporters out there who are picking Joe Biden because they think he's inevitable. Yeah, they think, oh, he's a VP. People know him. He had a successful 2-time presidency with Obama. Yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to win it. And if things start to look like he might not win it, well, that's when the money goes away for Biden, because he doesn't have a lot of people that are just championing Biden. I don't see a lot of Biden stickers. I don't see a lot of Biden stickers the last 4 years. He was just that guy that Obama picked. So, unlike a Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or even a Tulsi Gabbard or Andrew Yang, they have their own people that believe in them. Hell, even Kamala Harris. There are people that believe in them. Biden's more like, hey, well, maybe he can beat Trump and people pretty much know him, so maybe he's the right guy. But that maybe can change real quick, especially with the people who got to dig in their pockets and give you big money, Joe. So that's the reason why this is more damaging for Joe Biden than anyone else. Get it? Also, kind of a tough situation to be in that, you're within basically a tie. I mean, that's got to be a hard pill to swallow. How do you go from being up like 14 points to being in a statistical tie with Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren? That's not good. Yeah, I think it says a lot about his campaign. It says a lot about why there's a lot of damage control. And I think these debates coming up at the end of the month, who has most on the line? Joe Biden has the most on the line. Because if he does not have a great performance and totally rebound from his crap performance, he's toast. You heard it first here. So yeah, Joe, people are wondering. You could talk about, well, no one's worried about me. I'm a knockout king. I got a hand of steel. I can fight anyone. I heard he was on Morning Joe or something challenging Donald Trump to push-ups. Who cares about push-ups, man? You need to push up and get your policies progressive. You're not going to get your policies progressive. You need to just push out. Push away from the dock. Push you and your boat away from the dock and just drift off. And go home and drive your Corvette. And take Simone with you. That's what I'm thinking. Hey, guys, I don't have time for Joe Biden being in the way. He's in the way. He's a mess. He didn't know what he's doing. He's lost a step, and this is not the guy we need. Ate too much ice cream. Something's wrong, okay? With the Botox or something that's affected the ability to react. And stop telling me that you didn't respond to Kamala Harris because you didn't want to embarrass her or you didn't want to fight dirty. Hey, she called you out. You weren't ready to be called out. You had no business being on that stage. Everybody who goes up on the stage, we go in the ring, you got to be ready to fight. You know the old saying, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Well, you got punched in the mouth and you ain't have a plan. Don't make it seem like you took the high road. She caught you slipping. You had your guards down. It was horrific. It was bad. It looks sad. People can defend it and say it was a dirty fight, a low blow if they want. We'll be prepared for it because this is a competition. So, last but not least, Tulsi Gabbard. I've been wondering, I was looking to say, I want to report on Tulsi Gabbard. What's there to report on Tulsi Gabbard? Well, she needs you to donate to her campaign. If you want to see her in the third and fourth debates, she's already a lock for the July debates, so don't worry about that. We're talking about the third and fourth. We need to look beyond the end of the month. We need to look beyond that. So if you like Tulsi Gabbard, you support her policies, if you think that she's a great candidate, you need to represent by helping her raise the money, okay? That's important. Somebody recently stepped up for Tulsi Gabbard. His name is Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter. You may have heard of him. He just gave the max to Tulsi Gabbard because he believes in Tulsi Gabbard. I think that's kind of impressive because Tulsi Gabbard is one of those people, one of those Democratic primary candidates who believes breaking up the big tech companies might not be a bad idea. And he's still giving them money. So that tells me Jack's not half as bad a guy as I thought he was. You know, I'm always concerned about Tulsi Gabbard. I know she's an underdog at this point, okay? I want her campaign to do well. I want her to be in a position where she can put those skills to work for the American people, and I think that's what she wants to. I really believe that Tulsi Gabbard wants those things. I really believe she's an honest, sincere individual. You got to get behind that. You got to support that. Same way I feel about Mike Gravel. Mike Gravel just strikes me as someone who's authentic, real, honest, and against establishment BS and corruption. I feel the same way about Marianne Williamson. Honest, real, not in it for herself, not in it for accolades, in it because she got some ideas she would rather give them to the world than die with them. So I admire that. Speaking of being an admirer of Tulsi Gabbard's campaign and wanting her to do well, I got a clip of Tulsi Gabbard being asked questions about Donald Trump, and I want you to hear her response.
Let me ask you just straight up, were the president's tweets racist in your view?
Yes, they were.
Let me ask you just straight up, were the president's tweets racist in your view?
Yes, they were. And what's so dangerous about Trump's racist tweets is really two things. First of all, that he is using his platform of the presidency to foment racism and religious bigotry and to try to further divide our country. And number two, that he is using that platform to try to shut people down who don't agree with him, to essentially say, look, if you don't agree with me, you should, quote unquote, go home, undermining the very principles and freedoms that each of us have enshrined in our Declaration of Independence, in our Constitution: freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom of religion, all of these things that really make us who we are. So Trump's anti-American tweets, comments, the things that he is doing really undermine our democracy and undermine the rights and freedoms that so many of my brothers and sisters in uniform have served and sacrificed to defend.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, people. That's what I'm talking about. Tulsi Gabbard taking no prisoners, not being over the top and dramatic like I would be, obviously. You know how I go. Yeah, he's a racist. Come on. If he's not racist, who it is? We need to change the definition in Webster's. Somebody get Webster's on the phone. I mean, if Trump is not considered racist after the way he's been behaving, I don't know what you consider it. What's he got to do? Actually lynch a person? I mean, what are you guys waiting on? Tell people to go back to their countries. And I know he said similar things. It's still racist, man. When does he tell white people to go back to their country? You know, white people live, they have people that come from Australia, England, Norway. Why is he telling those people to go back to their country? Why have I never heard him say that to a white person he didn't like? He didn't tell Rosie O'Donnell to go back to her country. I'm just saying. But anyway, back to this. Tulsi Gabbard, great job. Nailed it. Killed it. Knocked it out the park. Excellent. What else can be said? I think that Tulsi Gabbard has a real balanced way that she delivers, and she's herself. I like that she plays her game. She does her. She is who she is, and she delivers that. And I just hope that the people recognize authenticity when they see it. She's a politician, yes, but she's one that's leading with her heart. And I think if we don't act right and we don't support candidates like Tulsi Gabbard now, they're no longer going to be in this. She's going to run out of money, guys. We can't have Tulsi Gabbard running out of money. So I am not related or directly connected to this campaign. I just believe in it. I just want the best for it. Go to Tulsi2020.com or contact them directly. I want to make sure, because some people say, don't give to the blue. And it's been so long since I pushed for anybody to donate. I'm not even sure if that's correct. Check my comment section. I got people who are up on this a little bit better than I am. I don't usually tell people to go donate to candidates. So excuse me if I'm a little rusty on it. But I do encourage you to find out by going to Tulsi2020.com, and I don't think anybody would object to me telling them that. Telling you that. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Do it today. It's $5 a month. Special content, bumper stickers, and other giveaway stuff that I'm going to give as incentives to my people. And also, I would love for us to be like, you be able to go somewhere and you see somebody and be like, oh, yeah, that's another Wolfpack member. I want that type of community, man. I had an opportunity to go to several states, several cities and several states and meet people in person. And it was amazing. And I think building the Wolfpack community out, I think that's something I want to do. So with that being said, remember, you can always write me at tim@timblacktv.com. If you already give $5 or more in any way, shape, or form to my show, whether it's on PayPal or YouTube or Patreon, email me at tim@timblacktv.com and send me your address, a mailing address. I won't come to your house. Send me a mailing address. It can be your cousins. I don't care. And I'm going to send you a bumper sticker. All right, guys. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread, and don't argue with people. What do? We sprinkle some facts on them. All right. Now let me check my comment section, man. See how my people doing. Frederick Murphy. Amen says, here goes the super chat, Tim, because you make me sleep better at night. Hey, man, I try to do my part, right? We get stressed, man. It's going to get stressful leading up to 2020, eh? So you know what I do, man. I'm an inspirational speaker at heart, right? That's what I used to do. Inspirational speak, right? Motivational speaker. And I'm going to make sure we have the tools, we have what we need to get through this, the next year or so. And yeah. Thank you, Amen, for the donation. Lauren Brillante. Wow. Lauren says she wish she had millions to get to help me go around the country and unplug people from the corporate media. And you know what, Lauren? You and me both. Hey, good intentions are a beautiful thing to have. I got good intentions. You have good intentions. At some point, right, our good intentions will meet the opportunity that we're looking for. We'll create the opportunity. They will collide, and then we got greatness. And I believe in that. That's why I kept going. I kept going and doing my thing. And I believe we're going to help make change happen, man. I believe that we can make an impression, an impact on the world. Because I'm here to do more than just buy clothes and eat food and go in the ground. I'm here to do something that's going to last beyond me. All right. Floyd dude said Joe Biden. Floyd said Joe Biden couldn't get a dog to play with him if he had a pork chop tied around his neck. Well, why are the voters? I keep hearing this, that Joe Biden's doing so well with black folks in South Carolina. Look, man, I need to go to South Carolina. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Goodness gracious.